stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Hello and welcome back to We Are Mighty. What is We Are Mighty? Well, every once in a while I just like to remind you, it's me, LaTanya Cross, your host, aka Mighty's Mama, just kind of chronicling my grief journey after dealing with the unimaginable, losing my youngest son to gun violence. And it's catapulted me into, I'm not even sure what it is it's catapulted me into. It's completely changed my life. It's completely changed my outlook and my way of going about my day. But what it's also done is given me a lifelong companion, if you will. That's what we'll call grief this week. A lifelong companion, because it won't go away. It pops up whenever it wants, pops up when we least expect it, and it's triggered by things that sometimes you would not think about, I guess is the best way to put it. So how have you guys been? How's the last couple of weeks been treating you? How's this crazy winter been for you? You know, this year the Midwest is being hit with a real Midwest winter. And a lot of people weren't prepared for that because the last couple of the last couple of years, the winter has been pretty mild. But it's letting us know this year, no, we're going to have a real winter with some real snow. And we've already had a nice amount to fall. So I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. I hope that the holiday grief isn't hitting you this year for whatever reason. It seems like it is very hard for people. Holiday grief is just tearing people apart. Or maybe it's just that because there's so much more focus on mental health nowadays, people are realizing that they are dealing with holiday grief and just never realized it before. Either way, that lifelong companion is definitely rearing its ugly head, and it's getting to a lot of people. Now, my Thanksgiving wasn't as emotional as I thought it would be because, you know, a few weeks before we had a family gathering, and I was a mess because it just didn't feel right for my son Miles not to be there. But Thanksgiving wasn't so bad. I made it through the dinner. You know, we had our family time and everybody did well. You know, we talked about memories and smiled and laughed. And, you know, after our time was over, went all our separate ways and went home and everything. But for some reason, that Saturday, I was a mess. I still have no clue what triggered it. Literally just going about my day, and out of nowhere, I just felt so depressed, so sad. My husband kept asking me what was wrong, and I literally said, I don't know. I was crying off and on, then started thinking about Miles and missing my son, and I just don't know where it came from. That's what I hate, when I can't put a finger on what just made this happen. What is bringing this on? What is making me deal with these emotions at this point in time? Because what I want to know is what it is, so I can figure out how to get away from it, or how to get around it, or how to prevent it from happening again. You know, I don't hate the fact that I'm grieving because I'm supposed to. I lost someone very close to me. Did I want to lose him? Absolutely not. Of course, if I had control over it, he'd still be here. But I have no control over it, so it's expected for me to be grieving. But the thing I just wish I could get a better handle on is how to maybe shorten it. Like crying all day, that's exhausting. Crying for an hour is exhausting. So, and maybe that's just the control freak in me. I want to be like, okay, here we go. Something has triggered me. You've got exactly 4 minutes and 59 seconds to get over this, be done with it, and move on to the next thing. And you just cannot do that with grief. A lot of times it's baby steps. A lot of times it's not what you think that's going to pull you out of it. So what do? That's actually a hard question to answer. But I just try to focus on positive things. I had someone reach out to me just the other day, and she was dealing with grief from losing a loved one over 5 years ago. And she couldn't understand why it was hitting her so hard. And of course, I can't really answer why it's hitting her that way. But I just tried to give her tips. Well, maybe it's this, and maybe it's that. And she said she hadn't eaten for a few days, and she just was depressed and couldn't do anything. And I just told her, just think about, baby steps. Maybe eat a couple crackers at least, something to give yourself some energy. Maybe get out of the bed. Goal number 1, get out of the bed. I didn't give her anything else, not get out of the bed and go do this and do that. No, if you're to the point where you are stuck, let's try to move. Let's start somewhere. And she was telling me that she was trying to focus on the good memories in order to pull herself out of the depression that she was dealing with, or the state that she was in. And so I told her, as you are focusing on those memories, remember those memories are there as a tool for you. Those are there to keep you on a positive note, or to give you a positive outlook on things. And she has children, and so I told her, that's why we want to make memories with our kids, because as much as we want our loved ones to be around forever, and yes, we've discussed this before, that's just not God's plan. And although that doesn't make it any easier, that doesn't make it hurt any less, we have to accept that and figure out what is it that we can do to keep ourselves from spiraling out of control. So I told her to use those happy memories as a catapult. Let them catapult you into a positive space. Doesn't mean it's going to catapult you to jump up, get dressed, go out, do this, do that. No, but it can get you into a positive mindset. Focus on the good memories with the person that you lost. I do that with my son. I focus on our memories. My older son and I, we are constantly talking about funny things that Miles used to do, or we'd be in a situation and it may trigger a memory of something crazy that Miles did, because Miles was always doing crazy things. So we have several positive memories to help us offset the grief, if you will. And so she had messaged me and said, I got up and I ate something today, and I went and got a facial. And I was like, girl, you having a better day than me. But then later on, she's like, I'm stuck again. That's that vicious cycle. That is that insanity of just continuing to just go right back to that saddening place. And I was telling my engineer, I don't know how I all of a sudden become the expert on grief, but I'm trying to, help her. And I'm not sure what's the next thing to tell her. But I do tell her that I'm always here. And I did tell her that that's the reason that I created this podcast, because I know that I'm not the only one who's going through this. I'm not the only one who goes through it in the way that I go through it. But there's ways that I can also reach others. And in doing this podcast, I'm actually helping myself while putting it out there for others. I've said before, I don't look at the number of views. I don't look at the quote unquote popularity, because I'm not doing it for popularity. If I know that I'm reaching one or two people who are really going through it and it's helping them, then my job's done. I've never been one for a popularity contest. I'm me, and that's all I can be, and you accept me or you don't. But I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to help who I can help. And when it gets to the point where it's not helpful, then maybe that's when I'll be done. But I'm here right now. And it's crazy. Like, even right now, I'm not sure why, but I'm starting to get a little emotional myself. You never, ever know. And it's funny because I could be here with this camera in my face, and that's always been my thing. I don't want to cry on camera, and I don't want to get emotional on camera, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm at the point where I just flow with it. I don't want y'all to see me ugly cry, because it is ugly. But I can't continue to tell you grief's going to do this and grief's going to do that, and you don't realize that it's happening to me as well. I'm not going to get on here and lie to you and, oh, it's so easy. All you've got to do is A, B, C. Nope. There's a plethora of things that you may do. They may work. They may not. It may go A, Z, X, V, W, whatever those things are. I really wish there was a way there was a formula that you can just say, herein lies the ways to get over grief. First, do this. Second, do that. And it just goes right along. That will never happen. Ever. Now, herein lies tools to deal with the grief. That may help. Number one, know that grief will be with you for the rest of your life. Sad, painful, upsetting, irritating, but true. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life. I have had people come up to me saying, oh, I lost a family member 15 years ago, and I don't know how you do it. It's only been a couple of years, and you're just doing so well. The thing is, I'm not doing that well. I'm just living with it. I made a post on that Saturday when I was dealing with all of the emotions, and I said, functional depression is absolutely real. Because the thing is, I'm not going to say your job doesn't care, but there's elements in life that, just the only way to put it is they don't care that you're grieving. It doesn't matter. There's things that are expected of you. Even with your job, they do give you time, of course, I'm sure. You have so much time, but even with that, there's a time limit on it. There's only so many weeks you can get, so many days you can take. And at some point, you have to pull yourself together and get back to work. Now, of course, it's harder to do that in your personal life. But at some point, you still have to do it. I have things that literally have sat since 2023. And I have to take care of those things. But it's so difficult for me because now when I go back to them to try to, okay, let me tackle this thing. I open it up, and the date that it's stuck on is when my son was taken from me. And that's a trigger all over again. I can't even get past that. But the things have to be done. I have to catch up. I'll never get anywhere. I'll just be going in circles. And I have to coach myself. I have to cheer myself on. My husband will try. Come on, babe. I know it's hard. Let's, whatever you can do, let's try to take one step forward. And I have to catch myself because I get upset with him when he does that. And that's not right. He's just trying to help me to move forward. And it's not that he's stronger than me. It's not that he's not dealing with the grief. He just deals with it differently. So I'm still, in a lot of ways, trying to get past 2023. And we're just weeks away from 2026. That's where my long-term effects of grief are. I'm moving, I guess, forward in some areas. I'm getting up every day. I'm going to work, doing what's expected of me. I get home and I piddle around and I do a few things, but I'm really still stuck in 23. And I don't know if I'm afraid. I'm probably afraid to move past that year, because that's when I'm really going to have to move past the loss, not the grief, the loss. In 2023, I lost my child. In 2023, my child was taken from me. Now, it doesn't help that I'm still in court, still waiting for a trial date, still waiting for justice. And I don't know if that will do anything, because of course it's not going to bring my son back. But I'm still trying to figure out, how do I get out of 2023 and move forward? Because there are things that I need to do that can cause some real problems for me, if I'm honest. But it's hard. And I have people who are willing to help. And, hey, we're going to tackle this stuff. We're just going to get together. And that's the hard part. You ever been so strong that you don't want people to know your weakness, or you don't want people to know your vulnerability? We'll put it that way, because I don't have any weaknesses. Just kidding. But you don't, and I think it's partly my upbringing. My dad was always, when everybody else is, oh, but you're just a girl. I don't care that you're a girl. Get to it. We gonna get this done. We gonna take care of this business. We gonna keep moving. And there was not much emotion that was in it. So I've always had to be the strong one. I'm the oldest. I raised my brothers. So it's very difficult for me to allow people to see a vulnerable side. And I fear if I let these people who care so much for me, that they want to help me get things caught up, they will see me in a vulnerable state that I don't want them to see me in. Isn't that crazy? People who genuinely want to help you. And you don't want them to see that you need help. So no, my journey isn't perfect. No, I'm not out here just living my best life. Nah, I'm living. I'm living life. I guess this is my life. I can't live anybody else's. Definitely not my best life. And I wonder if I could ever make it that. I think I'm going to have to just settle for living a good life. And I'm working towards it. That's what I would prefer, to just live a good life. There are things that I feel like I should be doing still as the grieving mother. There are things that I feel like I should be doing as just a mother. And I don't even know whose standards I'm trying to live up to. It's all jumbled together now. Just one moment, one disruption. A huge one. But that one disruption has just flipped everything upside down. And I'm still 2.5 years later trying to figure out how to navigate it. Hopefully I'll figure it out. Hopefully one day it will be smooth sailing. And that's all I can ask for, is smooth sailing, because it's not going to be, I guess, perfect. It's not going to be a party. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my moments when I'm having fun, and I'm trying to have more of those moments. But it's still, usually on those days too, I hate that. I have a great time and then get home, and once everything dies down, I start to feel guilty. And that makes no sense. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you look at it through a grief lens, but it makes no sense that I feel guilty for living life because I'm still here in the land of the living. And that's how we have to look at it. We are still here in the land of the living. But I talked previously about not dying along with your loved one. And that doesn't mean it happens right then. There are people who 4 and 5 years later, all of a sudden it hits them. Just like the young lady who reached out to me. She's almost in that position because out of nowhere, she's not able to function. She's not able to move around like she was previously. But what does that do to us? We're slowly killing ourselves. Now, honestly, when you think about the fact that you've lost whomever you've lost, or whatever you've lost that has you grieving, do you really want to lose yourself as well? Because when you just lay down and don't want to get up and don't want to move or breathe, or you're slowly deteriorating. Now I know we have the people who someone dies and, oh, take me with you or take me instead. But when you think about it, do you really mean that? Are you ready to go? Do you even know what's on the other side? No, none of us do. And I, for one, God knows I miss my baby like crazy, but I'm not ready to see what's on the other side. I'm not. Call me selfish, whatever you want to call me. I ain't ready to go. And so that's one thing that makes me get out of the bed every day. I'm not going to lay down and die. I wish my baby didn't. I wish he could get up to this day. But while I can still get up, That's what I'm going to do. And every day find a way or a reason to do something fulfilling, either for myself or for someone else. Those kinds of things keep us alive. Those kinds of things keep us moving. Those kinds of things keep us focused. But we also have to focus on the necessities and the things that we have to do, the things that are required of us. Don't give up. Don't let go. Don't let go of memories. Memories are so important. Even some negative ones. You may learn a lesson from it, or some things you look back on now that may have been negative in the moment, and you may still chuckle. Just hold on to them. Hold on to those things so that they keep you alive, that they keep you moving. When it's your time, it'll be your time. Don't rush it. And don't think about it. And I say that because I know that grief makes you focus more on negative things, worst case scenarios. And I'm sure if you're like me, it pisses you off when it's just like, oh my gosh, you think the absolute worst is going to happen. And then you look at yourself like, why would you even think that? It's so far-fetched. But after life is disrupted with a major loss, now you're on edge and thinking every situation is going to end in a major loss. I accepted that pretty early on, but it still hits me now. My foster child he wasn't really sick, but they had some tests that they needed to run, and they couldn't be run in our city. And so we had to be transported to another city about an hour away. And the crazy thing was, like, when he's 4 months old, they put the little car seat on a stretcher. I am just bawling like a baby. Baby's fine. I am just crying uncontrollably. And then they put the stretcher in the ambulance and they put me back there with him. And I think about the fact that I didn't get to do that with Miles. He was in that ambulance alone. Unfortunately, I don't know if he was already gone or not. And so that triggered me. Baby's just having a good old time, literally looking out the back window at the cars behind the ambulance. And the EMT is asking me if I'm okay. And it took a minute for me to collect myself. I looked down and the baby's looking at me like, what's your problem? And I had to snap out of it. But even that, it triggered me. Being in the ambulance and, you're being at the hospital with the baby. Now he's literally in a room with a crib. But it just, all of it was just so much. Because I haven't been in a hospital with anyone close since my son passed away. So I dealt with it. I was proud of myself. I got past it. Not without shedding some tears, like I said, but sometimes it's what's necessary. Sometimes there's just situations that we don't realize that we haven't dealt with until something comes about that brings it to our remembrance, as people say. And you just have to deal with it in that moment. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, my thing is I just want to deal with it, give it its set amount of time, be done, and move on to the next thing. What's the set amount of time? I don't know. I prefer it to be 5 minutes or less. And that almost never happens. I'm saying all that to say kind of what I always say. You can't predict. You can't. You can try to prepare yourself for what may happen and what grief may throw at you, but it seems like the second you prepare yourself, it's not going to happen. So all you can do is deal with it as it comes. Live your life. Be happy. It is okay. Or if you're not okay, that's okay as well. Put one foot in front of the other and move at the speed that you can move. And you'll realize you're slowly pulling away from the level of grief that you previously dealt with. Can't say you'll pull away from grief, but you'll pull away from the level. As my brother says, there's levels to this. You can make it. I have faith in you. If I can, anybody can. I promise you. Just remember, in everything you do, be true to yourself, be strong, and be mighty. We are here everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify every other Friday. I'll see you next time.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.